Heyo guys, Tom here and welcome to my Extreme Rules 2018 review. Considering the fact 90,000 bloody people, for some reason, watched my Extreme Rules predictions video, I thought I might as well do a review because some people might be interested in my opinions. Has that ever been a thing? I'm not particularly sure. Anyway guys, can we hit the like button? I'm absolutely dead behind the eyes. I stayed up until about 4 AM. I was drifting off during the main event, the Iron Man match. I was just going, I can't even remember half of it, but we're going to review it today. We're going to talk about everything Extreme Rules, and if you guys enjoy this video, would you like to see a Monday Night Raw review tomorrow? I think we might possibly do that. I used to do it all the time on the channel. For some reason, I stopped doing it. We could do it, because at the moment, I'm kind of struggling to think of ideas for videos some days, so I wouldn't mind doing Raw and SmackDown reviews again. They were fun, and it made sure that I actually watch the shows, which probably is a good thing, considering I run a WWE channel. Anyway, we're reviewing Extreme Rules today. What am I doing with my hands? It was an okay show. I mean, it wasn't anything amazing. It wasn't awful, but it just wasn't something, it wasn't that significant. When you look at the year of 2018 in WWE, in December, you wouldn't really say Extreme Rules was that significant in the whole grand scheme of things. So, let's talk about it, and, yeah, let's go. So, I did actually end up having a cheeky gander at the pre-show. I wasn't planning on doing it, but for some reason, my girlfriend decided to stay around, and she was like, Tom, you're not going to sleep, you're going to entertain me, which is a tough ask to do, but I ended up watching the pre-show instead of sleeping, which I normally do. But the first match we got was Sin Cara against Cien Almas, a rematch from SmackDown, and Sin Cara was flying absolutely bloody everywhere. You cannot stop that kid. I thought this match was actually pretty good. It was potentially better than some of the matches on the main card. It was fun. It was just a good pre-show match. It was a good match to get people excited for the main show. Of course, Almas won. Really, if you think about it, it was a bit of a squash match in the end. And, yeah, he won. He needs a win. He's just come to SmackDown Live. Of course, he was going to get the victory. And they did that spiky thing that they did on SmackDown, the Hurricanrana spiky thing. Bloody love that thing. Decent match. At one point, my girlfriend questioned, how does Sin Cara breathe through his mask? I'm not sure. Can you guys answer that question? Anyway, the second match we got on the pre-show was Sanity beating the New Day. Specifically, the semantics of it all was that Eric Young hit an elbow drop onto Kofi Kingston. That was actually pretty cool. He was caught up in the ropes of some sorts. Elbow drops him through the table. Sexy. 1, 2, 3, it's all over. Sanity, just like Almas, have just come to SmackDown. They've got the win. That double foot stomp thing that Kofi did from the top rope onto what seemed like everybody was pretty good as well. That was pretty dangerous. This was extreme. It was fun. So we move on to the main show, and the bloody B team, who I said in my predictions video, were less credible champions than the bloody Chuckle Brothers, won the Raw Tag Team titles from Bray and Matt Hardy. Are you having a laugh, mate? It was a very average match, a very weird way to start the show. They didn't start the show with the Iron Man match, or maybe Roman against Bobby Lashley, or a match people really did care about. They gave us this match, which was just a bit bloody average. It wasn't a fun way to start the show. It wasn't extreme in any way. It was just a bit of a lame way to start the show, and the B team winning the Raw Tag Team titles, we've only just got over the fact a 10-year-old won the Raw Tag Team titles. Now we've got the B team being the Raw Tag Team champions. What is the credibility of the tag team titles anymore? I'm not particularly sure. So we had the cunt stubble of Raw, Baron Corbin, getting beaten by Finn Balor. I actually enjoyed this match. I think, I'm going to say it right now, I think Baron Corbin is slightly underrated in his current role. I think he plays his current role very well. And some of the matches he's had since he entered cunt stubble of Raw have actually been pretty good. This was a good pay-per-view match. It did the job, and they got the booking absolutely spot on, because they probably should have had Baron Corbin win, because he's just got this new role, he needs to cement it, he needs to look good, obviously, if you want to take him seriously. But then Balor, on the other hand, really needs a win. He really hasn't done anything significant in recent months. So you have Balor win, but Corbin pissed off, so he's going to be pissed off next on Monday Night Raw, and he's probably going to take his anger out on Finn Balor. So in the end, Baron Corbin might look pretty good, but Balor got the win as well. So overall, good booking, good match. Number 5, it's the shark cage match. I think I'd rather be bitten by an actual shark than watch another WWE shark cage match. Carmella defends her title against Asuka and walks out still the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. This was dreadful. Not only did James Ellsworth not stay in the bloody cage, when has that ever happened in a shark cage match before? He picked the bloody lock, the cheeky knob, and he was like swinging from it for like 10 minutes. Asuka was beating him up, and then Carmella comes from behind. Oh, that's what she said. Smashes Asuka into the cage and then just gets the victory. It was a very short match. Not really much wrestling happened. It was just a bit crap, wasn't it? I mean, did WWE even watch their own network? If Enzo Amore can escape the shark cage, James Ellsworth is definitely going to escape the shark cage. This was just a mess. I think it's better if we just forget about it. Potentially the worst pay-per-view match of the year. And Carmella's still champion. I mean, just put the belt on Asuka for God's sakes. So, WWE definitely like balls, because not only did Nakamura hit Jeff Hardy in the nuts and hit him with a Kinshasa and win the United States Championship in about 5 seconds, Randy Orton comes back. You don't really know what he's back for. Instead of attacking Nakamura, he hits Jeff Hardy in the balls, you cheeky man. This was weird. I was really looking forward to Shinsuke Nakamura against Jeff Hardy. We didn't really get it because he won in about 4 seconds. But I'm happy Nakamura is the new champion. That's all you've got to remember. Maybe we'll get that match. I think we might be getting it on Tuesday. But I really did want to see it. Unfortunately, it was only 5 seconds. But at the end of the day, we got Nakamura as champion. That's big. He needed that. Randy Orton comes back. Heel turn. Heel Randy Orton is back. He hit Jeff Hardy in the nuts. When you were kind of expecting him to attack Nakamura. Instead, he hits Jeff Hardy in the nuts. Heel Randy Orton should be pretty good heading into SummerSlam. I'm looking forward to it. Randy Orton against Jeff Hardy? That should be pretty good. Number 7, and is Kevin Owens okay? This is the 7th match. Kevin Owens against Braun Strowman in a steel cage. Kevin Owens thought he was bloody clever to handcuff Braun Strowman to the ring. No, you weren't, mate. He just yanks it off and he pelts at Kevin Owens, and then they're both at the top of the cage, and he whacks him off. Braun did lose the match due to this, but I don't think he gives a shit. I don't think he gives a shit. Kevin Owens takes some crazy bumps. He only took a crazy one at Money in the Bank off that ladder onto a table. This time, off a cage onto a table. Ridiculous. This match was pretty good. I liked when Kevin Owens hit a cheeky stunner. Does what he wants, that kid. Overall, it was good. I mean, it kind of shows you the nature of Braun Strowman. Even though he loses, he is the real winner, people. He is the real winner. At the end of the day, he is Monster in the Bank. I hate how they announce it like that. It's just so corny. But he doesn't really care. I mean, he might have lost the match, but to be honest, he is the real winner. And he was alright. I honestly wouldn't mind seeing this feud continue until SummerSlam. It's been fun. They both have very good comedic timing. Kevin Owens is clearly prepared to do whatever it takes to get a feud over. So it did a good job. So the 8th match we got was Kane and Daniel Bryan against the Bludgeon Brothers. They got attacked before the match a few hours before, and then we had this very insignificant match which really didn't mean anything, really didn't do anything. This was just pointless. What was this? Are we going to get a rematch at SummerSlam? Does anybody really give a shit? I think at this point we all want to see Daniel Bryan against The Miz. What does this mean for Team Hell No? We shall see on Tuesday night, but very insignificant match. I wouldn't even have noticed if it wasn't on the show. Roman lost. Roman lost to Bobby Lashley, and it was actually pretty good. I bloody love Roman Reigns, because I feel like he's good at simulating a real match. When you watch a Roman Reigns match, it feels like a real match, and it feels intense. It feels like a main event, a must-watch match. To be honest, so did this. I thought it was good. That spot where Roman Reigns got Bobby Lashley in like an AA position and then chucked him out of the ring, careless, but that looked deadly. Just when you thought Roman Reigns was going to win with a spear, Bobby Lashley, of all people, well, it wasn't going to be bloody Wayne Rooney, was it? Hits a spear on to Roman Reigns instead and wins the match. They did this ending really well. You thought Roman was going to win with the spear. Instead, a spear comes from Bobby Lashley, and he pins him 1, 2, 3 just like that with a spear. This is interesting. Bobby Lashley set to main event SummerSlam. That was the whole reason they brought him in the first place, to feud with Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. What does this mean for Roman? Will he get added into the match tomorrow night? You wouldn't be surprised if he did, but we don't actually know what's happening to the Universal Championship. I mean, it might actually get vacated tomorrow night anyway, so we'll probably get Bobby against Roman Reigns anyway. I don't know, we'll see, but this was good, and it didn't even main event the show. So we got Alexa Bliss retaining her Women's Championship against Nia Jax. She did a pretty brutal DDT onto some chair. That was cool, but at the end of the day, I thought this match was a little bit overbooked. There was too many people in it. There was too much going on. It wasn't that extreme either. There was like one spot where Nia Jax like power bombed Alexa through a bin, apart from that, it wasn't that extreme. I thought there was a funny moment where Mickie James was like passing Alexa Bliss items, and then Alexa Bliss was very weakly trying to hit Nia Jax with them. Instead, she was just grabbing them and putting them in the ring. But Ronda Rousey got involved. She went mental, chicken oriental. It was kind of like the Ronda Rousey show instead of whatever match we were supposed to get here. But yeah, this was just a bit crappy. Alexa Bliss is still the champion, so she is probably going to set to face Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam, which should be good. I mean, Ronda Rousey's a fucking beast, quite clearly. Next match was a fun back and forth between AJ Styles and Rusev. I knew AJ Styles was going to retain his championship, but that didn't really take anything away from the match. It was good. It was one of the better matches on the show. It was back and forth. It was fun. I thought AJ might tap out at some points, but AJ Styles has enough. He whacks Aiden English, hits the phenomenal forearm for the win, and retains his championship. So I think we're going to see Samoa Joe against AJ Styles at SummerSlam, which should be fucking brilliant. Yeah, this was, at the end of the day, it was a nothing match. You knew AJ Styles was going to retain and head to SummerSlam to face Samoa Joe, but it was a thing, and it was a good thing. I'm not going to complain. And the 12th match, what 12th match? There was 12 matches on the show, and they didn't have room for Elias. They didn't have room for Samoa Joe. Ridiculous. Anyway, we did have the Iron Man match, main event the show instead of Roman Reigns against Bobby Lashley, which honestly was a huge call, but I think it was I don't know if it was the better decision. I don't think you would have noticed that much if it was the other way around, to be honest. I mean, it was a good match, but I think their matches on Raw were better. I've never really been a massive fan of Iron Man matches because, you know, like, all the result is always going to come down to the last 5 minutes. They're always going to do the big stuff in the last 5 minutes. It's all going to get wrapped up in the last 5 minutes, so all the other minutes before that don't really mean anything. I think at one point, wasn't Seth Rollins like 3-0 up? To be honest, it was good, but I felt like when Dolph Ziggler won the championship, that match was better. It went down to 4-4 with the last 3 minutes to go. I think Seth Rollins tied it up with like 3 minutes to go, which made it very, very interesting. He hit the curb stomp at the end. He was just about to win. The time runs up. Kurt Angle goes, "It's going to sudden death." Drew McIntyre comes out. Seth Rollins is distracted, and Ziggler hits a zigzag out of nowhere. Forget the RKO out of nowhere. Forget a victory royale out of nowhere. I think it's the zigzag out of nowhere everybody should be talking about. An explosive way to win the match, and to be honest, a cool moment, but we kind of all knew that Dolph Ziggler was probably going to retain his championship. We don't really know what Seth Rollins is going to do at SummerSlam, but he's put on a pretty decent match here, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do. But yeah, it was an okay show. There wasn't any outstanding matches which you thought could be on the best matches of 2018 DVD. Do you get where I'm coming from? Do you get where I'm coming from? A pretty sort of insignificant show. Apart from Nakamura winning the title, nothing has really changed. Do you know what I mean? No Universal Champion either, so you're missing out on that. But overall, it's gonna get. I think I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. But it wasn't anything that special. It wasn't anything that special. But it was there. It was 4 hours of wrestling. If you like wrestling, you might have enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, people. Do you want to see that Raw review? Do let me know down below, and hit that like button for more reviews. Yeah, thanks for watching, people. Check out these other videos, and you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, all that shite. Thanks for watching, people. Take care. Spike your hair.